I am Paul, and this is Grunewald Pipes. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Not sure what you're up to, but didn't know if you wanted to join me in the shop here. I'm just getting ready to work on a couple Rangers, and I have a template that I use, and I picked a couple Ebishon blocks. This one I'd previously drawn on in the past. Not sure if that's showing up or not, but I got the outline of the pipe, and I got the divot for my pivot point for the draft hole and the chamber. Here's one for my bent pipes. So all I'm going to do is line this up on this block and get it ready to go in the lathe. And when I line it up on the block, I just take a pencil and draw around the outline of my template. And I have a center line drawn on it here. So I transfer the line in my template to my block. Up here my chamber's got a line there, so I transfer that line up. So that shows me where I'll be lining up the chamber, and then here's my pivot point on the jaws. Mark that. Doesn't look like it went through. Yep, there it is. Okay, so there it is. Hopefully that comes through. And now I've got a set screw, just like the ones that run in my briar jaws. And I set that on this dot that I made. Now, drop it. Give me some needle nose here to hang on to it. And I'll set that right on the dot. Put a little divot in there, and then, oh, throw my hammer on the ground too. That divot, my set screw and my briar chuck will drop into that and center it up for me. Excuse me, gotta get my hammer off the floor. Hopefully you guys don't get seasick moving around, because we're gonna travel around a little bit. I don't know if anybody's even on yet. Plunder Shop, how's it going? And Maddie, how you doing, Maddie? So this one already had my divot in it here, my crosshairs. I drew these up a little differently. In the old one I used calipers and went off this edge and drew everything up. I don't do that now. Luckily another pipe maker taught me the trick of I only divot one side instead of both sides. Whereas this one I wanted to make sure I was straight across, so I'd do the crosshairs on both sides and then divot both sides. That way it squared the block up in the chuck. But I can let it self-center off of one side. So now I'm just going to transfer. Not sure that'll do me much good yet. Maybe I'll come back and transfer. I'll go from my pivot point to my line that I drew. So there's where the chamber will come in. And we'll go ahead and draw this line here to the mortise. So yeah, there we go, that shows up. Put my square back for a minute and we will go on a little journey out to the garage. And we'll trim some of the excess material off on the bandsaw, if all goes well. So if you get seasick, motion sickness, you may want to look away for a second. I'm gonna travel out there. Whoop. Adjusting the setup here. Got to plug in the bandsaw. We got cat houses plugged in at the moment outside to keep the cats warm in these cold nights. So there we go, that's in frame. Now all I'm going to do is trim off some of the excess outside the lines. Close enough. Now switch my plugs around again. And we're going on another journey back to the shop. So look away if you get seasick. So, straps go there. Now, looks like I left a little of a mess the other day. Not horrible, but a little bit. Alright, so, there we are. Now, what I need to do, what I typically do is before I usually get started, I like to just knock the dust off. I don't know why. here. Now we're gonna remove the live end that we had on the other day when we were cutting the taper on the stems. Alright, now we're going to put our chuck in. And you do that just by making sure it's out far enough that it doesn't bottom out. Lock this down and then we just slam it back in. For those that don't know, in case you're interested, there is a taper on this. Matches the taper inside the tailstock, and you just slam it in there and it locks into place basically. Until you back it out too far, and when you start backing it out, there's a point that it'll actually start pushing that back out of the taper. So, we got that. It's all going to be a mess again here shortly, I'm sure. But we'll try and knock off some of the stuff before we get started. Whoa. Wipe the bed down a little bit. There's a little bit of oil residue there, so we'll wipe it down and spread it out, thin it out. Alrighty, won't worry about that, we'll leave it. Not gonna matter here in a minute anyhow. Alright, so we'll run our carriage back over. We have our briar chuck here. Shoot, I meant to buy some compressed air in the little bottles so I could shoot that out some. Didn't taste the best. It's a little cleaner. Might have to remember to get some of those compressed air cans for stuff like that. Be able to clean the dust out of the threads. Alrighty, so I like to tighten all 3 screws on this, since that's a little bit of weight and it's just out there flying around. I'll probably regret that that's that tight later when I go take it off, but for now it makes me feel better. And when it's running, I won't be worried. Alright, so here's the set screws that I was telling you about that I used to put the divot in. And we'll leave that one out. We're going to run this one back. This is going to be like our floater. It's not a determined point yet. This is our only determined point, because on this one we only have 1 divot. So what we'll do is we'll put the divot up into that set screw to center everything up. It's got to be there somewhere. There it is. I'll wiggle it around and knocked it out. There we go. Now, just start closing the jaws on it. And then as it gets closer, I just kind of wiggle the block to let it kind of self-align between the two. Wiggle it up and down this way, so it, and that way it finds its center on the other side. And then what I'm going to do is probably put a drill bit in. We'll bump it up here, and we're going to line it up with the draft hole that we drew on the block, which is right about there. And we're going to continue to lock this down a little bit more. That's a little more snug. Now that it's a little more snug, I'm going to come in and run the other set screw in, the floater. That way now it's got its location. Sorry about that. So it's located on the opposite side of the block now. It's caused a divot by screwing it in. So now when I go to loosen the jaws up and I need to pivot to do the chamber, everything will still be at the same center point, or point of intersection, however you want to call it. Oh wow, that's not tight. That's why I really need to blow those jaws out, because from the feel of the wrench, it felt like it was snug. We're gonna crank down. I don't want that moving. Alrighty. So there's that. Now we'll move this back, put the center drill in, because we're not going to start with a drill bit. Too flimsy. So we're going to switch to a center drill. Got to have a clean surface to see how much you did. Yeah. Start with it clean and you get it dirty, then it makes it feel like you did something, right? Let's see, I've got a couple other things sitting here I really don't want sitting here. What in the world? Piece of cherry wood for some reason. Alright, so move some of this dust around down in there, get it out of my way. Set there. I haven't turned this machine on yet. Excuse me. We go over here in front of you and reach back and get it turned on. Oh. Kind of a narrow space to reach back to turn the power switch on. So let's see, we're at 450. And I'm just basically getting started is what I feel like. Although I had a little bit of prep work that I didn't hop on for. We'll lock this carriage down and we'll start our hole after I put the guard down. Clean up the end of that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and change my angle now that we're not cutting stems. I cut a few of them so I wouldn't have to take the time to reset that back up. Do that. I'll take this back out. Usually I like to run it in a low gear a little bit more, but we're going to go head up. All I'm going to do right now is square off the end of that. Alright, that's one way you can square up. And then I'm going to show you another way you can square up. Go deep enough is the question. I'm going to say I did not. I thought that was deep enough. And what I did there at the very end, I told you I changed the angle of the compound here, so that sets the whole tool at an angle. So by running just the side carriage in with it already in, it cuts an angle on the shank, so when you put them together you get a nice flush fit. Now put this back in. Lock this back down. We've already got our pilot hole with our center drill. Now we're going to switch up to our 5/32 bit. Slide this up in there. Now we'll drill to our pivot point. Sorry about that. Couple hiccups. Pivot. So now we're going to do some measuring and figuring, unless I want to cut this down some more. Do I want to cut that down some more? It's a good question. I think we will shorten that some more. Instead of changing the setup for hitting our pivot, I think we are going to just shorten the, let's see where we're at here. Okay, so we're right there in that mark. So we're there on that mark. We have to take off. See where my mark is again, right? I'll put it back in here and try again. Okay, it's right there. Basically where we're going to, so we're just gonna take off roughly about this much. Shorten the shank up just a little bit. Maybe a hair more than that, but something close to that. And we're gonna redo what we did again. Alrighty, that looks better. Now, that should set us up to get the depth we want. Just doing live.
Are you doing live?
Yep, look who just showed up.
Woo!
The other half of Grunewald Pipes.
Yeah. I'm interrupting the video now.
Oh, that's no biggie. I'm sure they don't mind seeing visitors instead of looking at my ugly mug the whole time.
Yeah, well, it looked like you had a point at the pipe.
I did, but sometimes it's in my ugly mug. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
I wasn't expecting you. You didn't give me no forewarning. Hey,
Yeah, I was just going to see if you guys were here. I got something for Stacy, and I went to the Jeep dealership down here.
Oh, okay.
So I figured I'd run by.
Okay.
But, yeah, I saw Harry Potter goldfish at Walmart, so I got those.
She'll like those.
Yeah.
I was just showing them drilling a Ranger stumble out, and we hadn't made it too far. We just started drilling the draft hole. I drew it out with the stencil, or the template, took it out, cut out with the bandsaw, brought it in here, started to drill, and then decided I wanted to face it. Well, then when I drilled, I didn't remove enough of the face, so I didn't actually make it to the pivot. I mean, I could have measured and made it to the pivot and left the shank on the stumble long, but instead of doing that, I just cut it back to where I don't have to measure. I can just use the guide and bump right up to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Cool.
But, okay guys, with Chris stopping by, I'm going to go ahead and cut the live short for right now.
Sorry to ruin it.
We got 17 people watching.
Yeah.
But keep an eye out for another live here in just a few minutes, or shortly after Chris takes off. I'll hop back on and we'll pick up where we're leaving off right now. So thanks for stopping by and watching. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you in a little bit. And
pipe on.
Wait. What's wait for, Plunder Shop?
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. Plunder Shop is the blacksmith. So if you guys haven't seen S&S Plunder Shop, go over and check out his channel. He does some blacksmithing, doing some awesome things. He's currently working on a plug cutter setup, I think. Looking forward to seeing him turn that out, but I'm not sure what he said wait for, so we're gonna go ahead and bounce, and I'll be back here shortly.